Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Tonya 23 experience. We up here in the house of Tonya 23, you feel me? We got all things going on. You know why? Because we're all things. Now check this out. Yes, Tonya 23 got a new product. And yes, they are digital Bluetooth earbuds. Okay. That's what they are. And they are branded by Tonya 23. Now, some of you may know how difficult it is to have a trademark brand, the process of getting it. But once you get it, you are so good to go here in this land. So, one more time for Tonya 23's branded trademark product that she worked so hard for, and I'm going to promote it all over the world. That's right, family, because we have to become what we talk about all the time. We want to chase the bag. We're chasing the bag. We're getting the bag, but as soon as we get it, it's running from us because someone's behind us trying to get us and get the bag from us. So it's a constant race, it seems like. But that's not why I came here today. I came to talk about the state of our world. I don't know if you can hear this thunder clapping, but it is quite appropriate along with. And things just don't seem right. Something eerie is going on. It seems that time is diminishing, and it's just time to get things together, you know? Let go of the old way because obviously that's not working. Let's just take a little stroll through the headlines. We're not going to cover entertainment. We have everyone else to cover that. We are covering their news for a little bit because they're doing a lot. Our people are doing a lot, but they're also doing a lot. And I'm afraid what they do lasts a long time. We come and we go, but when they do something, they, them, the ones that make the world a difficult place to live in right now. I recently wrote a book of poetry, and I should have a commercial on here, but I don't. But it is called Divinity, a Tapestry of rebuilding your personal power. There's 56 poems. In each poem, as it goes from A to Z, is designed to help one either reclaim, build for the first time, or rebuild your personal power. Because right now, your personal power is the most important asset that you have. Because in these times, you're going to have to make loan decisions, loan decisions that affect your entire family. Some decisions just affect you. But like when you're in my position as being a big mama in the family, most of my decisions have a ripple effect and it goes off and, it eventually affects the whole entire tribe. And so, with the world filled with so many confusing and conflicting philosophies and goings on and happenings and doings and whatnot, you have to stand alone in order to know which way to go. And in that, you have to be balanced, you have to be healthy, able to think properly. Because a lot of us don't seem to think that what we put in our bodies is all our brain has to use to come up with all these fantastic ideas and decisions that we have to make. But if your brain is full of heavy metals, sugar, salt, all these other different things that would affect how your brain operates, are you sure you're making balanced and proper decisions for yourself? For ourselves, let's just say that. Me this week, I've been fighting the wretched sugar demon. Oh no, it's not funny. It's actually quite dastardly. You can have some more lightning. Does anybody know what it is to fight the sugar demon? Oh, what a war it is. Especially if you're used to letting it win all the time. When you're happy, you find some sugar. When you're sad, you find some sugar. When you're bored, you find some sugar. And all this, there's sugar for everything, especially when you get in your like middle ages, maybe you're late. It starts in your late 30s, early 40s. So don't think you are all that because it's going to get you if you haven't been working on subduing it. It's just like anything else. So here we are at war. Say no. I'm not going to eat that pack of now laters, even though it's the cherry kind that I really like. And they're not all hard and crusty, they are the chewy kind. And I have to walk away and perhaps grab my trail mix and get to chomping on my walnuts and my hazelnuts and my almonds and my raisins and my cranberries. And after a couple of handfuls, I'm so glad I didn't pick the nowalators. But after I ate the trail mix, I still had a craving for something sweet. So now what? Maybe I'll just go get a cup of juice. But in essence, you're really just feeding the egregore. Let's just call it what it is. Just like anything else, the smokers, they feed their smoking demon, or egregor, whatever you want to call it. And let's just face it, the average person is under such stress just trying to wrap their, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, mind around this freaking world. It's enough if you pay attention to it. It's enough to make you want to go off the deep end. But I don't suggest it because if you hold on just a little while longer, what did they say, the elders? Joy comes in the morning. Joy comes from the morning. They have us refer to our lovely day as a morning, our early waking up. No, you should be quite happy if you got to wake up another day. And if you got to spend the whole day doing what you love, that's even better. But getting back to what we put inside, really, we literally are what we eat. And I don't want to down anybody. As a matter of fact, I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. I said that I really don't care. Now, what I'm saying is not that I don't care about you, but I don't care about what you do because number one, you have to be concerned about it. Are you? Are you concerned about how you treat yourself? Is there something to be concerned about? I think every single person has one. We take a lifetime working on it. It might be more than one thing, and it may not come at the time that you think. You may be as strong as ever, but right down the corner there, right around the bend, could be something waiting to knock you all the way down. Whatever that all the way down is in your life. What I'm coming to do is offer some positive healing. Someone has to do it. I mean, why not? I was reading today and I came across a lesson that talked about your ego and it talked about our different minds. That's where we're going. It talked about different minds, and the first mind it mentioned was the ego mind. And then it mentioned, well, just hold on just 1 second. Let's not speculate. Let me grab my notes just a moment. Well, family, can you believe my book is hiding from me now? I've had it strapped to my hip all day. Just give me one more second. I shall be right back. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience. It surely will be worth your while. Okay, here we go. I've been journaling all day about things that have come to mind. I have a beautiful circuit journal, and I got to start putting my links and stuff up because I have so much great products that I have been creating, books, journals, and I have a holistic wellness haven journal. That is a journey for you. I've got the shadow work journal. And mind you, I've completed all of my journals first, but and now it's time for me to, pass it on. But yeah, so three minds: your ego mind, right? And then, believe it or not, your heart mind, right? Your soul has a mind. And then there's the universal mind, which is really my intention a lot more is to move into the universal mind talk because yeah, I could get very specific, but I'm trying to connect with that specific tribe out there, and whoever resonates with what I'm saying is a very special person because I come from the deep, right? I'm just not spitting willy-nilly off the top of my head. I really have a hard time talking about what is nonsense. But lately, I have been trying to engage a little more in something that is less intellectual, actually. Let's just call it what it is. I've been trying to give my little deep mind a break, because wow. And a lot of things were seeming to end up in the same place, the bowels of hell, as I traced the thing, a situation, where it was heading if the goddess doesn't intervene. And then I found myself needing to intervene in things that had nothing to do with me until you talk about the universal mind. If you come into the universal mind, what happens to other people affects you. We have been taught separation to such a deep level that we have to untalk about, like, we have to undo that, okay? Because the way to actually, let's scratch that and let's use this talk in this time, in this season. The way right now, portions of the world are getting ready to celebrate one who said that they was the way, the truth, and the light, right? Whether you believe that or not is up to you, right? But we're speaking in that language as the universal mind, okay? Um, and we always take the opportunities to say whether you believe that particular philosophy or not does not um make it it's not solidified as truth. It may be your truth and their truth and whatever, but everyone is allowed their truth. So if, get in where you fit in and you would add your truth in, you could take anything that is like, say, religious or spiritual. And if it gives any ode to a name or deity or god, goddess, or whatever, you can replace that name with whatever name you like. And it pretty much would still apply. if it's in the same, uh, let's say, frequency range. Now, if something is talking about a god, you're not going to take and replace it with the opposite, which would be like a devil or a demon. We're not talking about that. We're talking about alignment right now. And those certain prayers that are aligned in a specific name for whatever your faith is, those names are interchangeable. That's another podcast for another time because I've actually been doing a lot of scientific experiments with names um, and mentioning them in the metaphysical way, aka a prayer. And I've been journaling my results. So, like I said, that's another time. Please don't let me forget to revisit that because I have some startling results in that manner. Like, let me just put this out there and then we'll move on. Prayers that I used to say, like you would say, God or whatever. Well, I replaced that name. I said, I'm going to tap into my closest ancestor that I know for a fact has my well being, progress, and living well in their intentions in life and afterlife. I know they want the best for me. So I decided to coronate that ancestor and to make her a goddess. And then I dedicated a number of prayers in her name. And the results were astonishing. My mother has answered, she has managed to answer the prayers before any other God I've known. And that's a bona fide fact. It is also written, and I am continuing to write it because I'm definitely going somewhere with that information. So, getting back to the four minds of spirituality, all four of these minds fall under the spirituality category: the ego mind, the heart mind, the soul mind, and the universal mind. So let's talk a little bit about each. The ego mind, well, most of us can attest to what that is, you know, but it is actually referred to as the lower self of yourself. Why is that? It is the physical, incarnated self you as a soul have to come to learn through, right? So, you as an incarnated person, as a soul, you have to learn this ego because it stated the lower self, but when trained properly and used properly, it can be quite the asset to you. Because I, for one, in my studies, I need my ego. I don't need it to be out of balance though, but I absolutely need it. And I would say you do too. It's the name you answer to, it's responsible for expressing reactions, and they claim the more lower feelings of guilt, shame, blame, jealousy, fear, hatred, etc. Now, always remember when we are classifying words that they're interchangeable and there's a time and place for everything. Most of the time, we'd say fear and hatred is a negative thing. But according to your scriptures, there's a time and place where it is a positive thing, fear and hatred. And I gather they're talking about war. That's the only time I could see a person trying to justify fear and hatred. But in my rationality, there's no place for it, but it keeps rearing its ugly head wherever you go. So the ego is an essential part of being human because it's your expression, what makes you an individual, right? So our egos is what makes us different from one another. So obviously we need it, but it needs to be in balance, right? With the heart, right? Because many of us, we go through a period of time and it's like from child to early adult when you go through certain things that shape and mold you, whether they're positive or negative, these things are responsible for shaping and molding us as the human being that we're trying to progress um, to be either better or however you choose to take that journey. But the ego and the heart coming into balance actually is a lifetime of work. And I say, depending on under what auspice you were born. Now that's where we bring in astrology. That also, to me, my opinion, and let's just state this disclaimer. My opinion doesn't have to be your opinion, but it is worthy of having its space, right? So that's what we're doing here. And suppressing the heart is not good because when you suppress something, that means that you're depriving it of space for growth. And it's not going to stop trying to grow. So then that means you're going to have an explosion or some sort of meltdown eventually. That is pretty much scientific. Suppression will lead to combustion, right? So then we have this heart mind, right? We got the ego, then we're moving on to the heart mind. When the heart mind, we're talking about how our hearts are intelligent. Our hearts actually help us make decisions, right? It's a wrestling game between the ego and the heart. So let's do the formula for decisions. Ego mind plus heart mind equals decisions, or ego mind minus heart mind equals a decision, right? But say you had minus ego, this is an equation now. Put the minus sign in front of ego, right? Minus ego plus heart equals, right? A balanced decision because a negative plus a positive is balance, right? So we started out with less ego and we had more heart and we ended up with a balanced decision. That was fire. Right? I was good at math, so sometimes I do situations in math equations. I make the 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 solution or the problem the X factor, you know? And then I build my equation around trying to solve for X. X is the decision, right? So the heart mind lets us know that there's an intelligence there. Our hearts and our connection to our soul mind is all that is, right? Our ego mind, our heart mind, and our soul mind equals all. When our heart and ego are in balance, the ego supports the heart rather than suppresses it. The ego answers our heart's desires by bringing forth in excellence the intelligence of our brain. There we go. Back to why our brains need to be in balance, and it depends on what you're feeding it, right? So I will change the title because I think I started out, yeah, what in the world is going on, current news updates and whatnot. But once again, spiritual side has won because the current news actually becomes unimportant to a factor. It becomes unimportant when you are working on this soul, getting this soul together. Let me tell you, that is what's important. Now, again, I'm saying that's my decision, but I feel my ego is swelling to a point where I want to say, that's what's important for all of us. And it's time that we all start to realize it. The clock's on 33 and counting. When that revelation came out, the clock was on 33 minutes. There's a little equation for you to figure out spiritually, what did that mean? And so the all that is the ego and the heart and the soul mind. Now, sometimes your ego and your heart are working it out. They're going back and forth trying to make this decision. And then the soul mind say, hey guys, what are you guys doing? What y'all doing? Let me get involved. I'm sensing that there's some love vibrations that need to be worked out because the ego and the heart is really just wrestling with what level of love are you going to deal with this decision on, you know? In the soul realm, the love vibrations, they hold a specific frequency. It's individual, it's ultimate, and it's supreme consciousness. Supreme consciousness. The soul is wise, connected, and pretty much all knowing when it comes to you. And everyone's soul with the all knowing part comes together for the collective, universal mind. Okay. So it's not that we all have to come together in this huge group and just get our stuff together and go from there. No, it starts with individuality. Everyone work on their spiritual journey right now. because your spiritual journey can prompt you to make balance your physical journey, right? So some of us start with our physical journey and we move into spiritual. And some of us are dropped here in our spiritual journey and we have to work with the physical. But usually when you start with your spiritual journey, your physical journey seems to adjust itself. Excuse me, its mind begins to work a lot better in sync with the other three minds, right? So now the soul is working with the ego and the heart can little rest, you know what I'm saying? And then your heart and your soul is working together because you're in sync and you've made good decisions that made those two uh produce a frequency that makes you feel light, right? So the heart and the soul, when they are in sync, is a natural high. Absolutely. It brings out some laughter, and you like to give yourself a round of applause. When you're balanced, you know, physically, you feel better. You can't even help it, you know? And we talked about the soul being wise and connected. And the soul is a seeker on its own. It seeks to expand, to grow, to know itself a little deeper, to have a grander sense of itself. And it does so by creating various expressions of itself, like living entities. Let's talk about that. The mind of the soul refers to a vast expression and knowledge, which is gathered in part by experiences throughout each lifetime. We talk about, many of us say that they know who they were in previous lifetimes, that they were able to tap in to those other selves, which is wonderful. Tapping into this self can actually help you with figuring out your previous lifetimes. Things that you love, things that you hate, gifts, talents, skills. They're all a precursor to previous lifetimes. Some of us are really good with a hammer, but we're not a plumber, you know. Some of us are very electric and magnetic, but we're not engineers. So we're all multi dimensional. Some of you may not like the phrase that you are uh, multiplication. Let me see. Polar multiplication, polarized. Polarized multiplication. That was a smart one, though. Yeah, polarized multiplication or multiplication, polarized, whichever way you like. You can have whatever you like, right? And that's true. We create our own reality. We pretty much can have whatever we like. And if you think about the situations we find ourselves in this life, are things that we created, whether good or bad. So we've got to do our just work on whichever thing we need. If we need to get better, we need to get working on it. How? Well, most of us are walking around with like at least a $1,300 telephone. And I want you to know that that phone is also a computer. It computes. It's taking data, right? Can we say that our computers are taking data? They are working with facts, not ego, not working with you know, heart or the soul mind. Now we're thinking that this data is being pulled from a mind though, but it's the universal mind, right? The universal mind of consciousness now. Even these things have the formula that the heart and the soul and the ego are involved, right? But not with artificial intelligence. No, that's just pulling from the universal data pool, universal, and you could call it consciousness. But there's one thing that separates it, and that would be the soul and the heart, right? Some people have said that they've had experiences where AI has shown signs of having an ego, perhaps a heart, but it doesn't have a soul. But it can tap into the universal consciousness, right? But for us, that's names like source, even God, creator, and there's other similar terms that this energy is all that is, right? So the universal mind is energy of all that is. It is the fabric, right? And there's no other way to explain it. Interconnected web of consciousness. A universal mind is all inclusive and it considers all. And the great thing is, we all have access to it, the universal mind, in which we need to start using a little more to help bring us to balance so we can learn what our balance is because what your balance is may not be my balance. But there is at least a universal balance, you know? It's like basic human rights. You deserve air, water, shelter, food. Anyone trying to deprive you of those things are inhuman. Some things don't leave room for ego. It just is the truth, right? And when you're dealing with truth, it's a whole different section. But what we've come to tonight as a general um, wrap up conclusion is we all need to be working on our souls, right? Our soul mind, which includes your ego mind and your heart mind, you know, helps the soul be in balance, be healthier. That's how you build yourself and bring back your personal power, right? So I want you all to get over there to Amazon.com and type up divinity, a tapestry of love, right? How to regain your personal power. Actually, let me see. Not this one. Not chat. It was. Did I want to present here? Uh, hold on one second, guys. I'm going to. Interesting. Okay, that won't work like that. I don't like that. Let me see. Why? Why isn't my keyboard working? Anyways, I was definitely getting ready to go. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I'm working this bad boy. It's not gonna get the best of me. That's one thing about me too. I never give up. I'll be on it. I will chase it down like it's what the heck's going on? Stop doing that. I get you up. What in the world? Oh no, guys. Okay. This might be one of those give up. What mm, okay. Not a problem. We're not doing like I said. Whoa, that was incredible. Okay, guys. But anyways, what I will do is share the link pretty much and learn how to promote myself a little bit better. I notice a lot of people as soon as they get on their podcast, the first 10 minutes is promoting everything they have or whatever and like literally I just skip over that part. So I don't want others to do that. I know that's what's going to happen to me. So I've got to find a different way to talk about all the wonderful things I do. I mean, seriously, that's like a whole show, and it's not even being egotistical. I've put in a lot of work and sacrificed hanging out, clubbing, and barbecues in the summertime. And I just began to invest in me, my spiritual life, my soul, my time, and everything spent. Um, in that way. I guess you could call it like a little pilgrimage within. But I sacrificed a lot of fun for the past 14 years building what I've built. And it's been a lot. And I can do a lot of things. I took the time, and I'm still not done, but I took the time to tap into myself. And I'll tell you some of the things I discovered. I discovered I was a Reiki master, a Shimpidin, I discovered that I'm Circuit Amen Ray, and I do Ahara Reiki, and that's energy directing, right? I can direct energy wherever I need to direct it for healing. Also a writer, I discovered I can write. I can also, I'm very good with religious writings and s- breaking down scriptures and whatnot. And so I studied in Bible seminary and I received my certificate there. But I didn't stay there. Um, I kept on going and I decided I was a product maker. I also use my skills as an essential oil and aromatherapy expert and coach at this time. I can teach others. I'm an organic soap maker and teacher, and I'm also a skincare product creator. I'd like to classify myself as a in training alchemist because I'm very good with making herbal blends for healing for others. For the past 14 years, people have been calling me and asking me, hey, what can I do for such and such and such? And do you make anything like that? And of course, I do because my heart always says, hey, I know I'm a creator. So I create healing salves, lotions, oils of all sorts and kinds. I incorporate crystals in my oils and I incorporate frequencies and energy, positive energy into my products. I work a lot with protection. And so I do a lot of meditating. So I'm able to meditate over healing products. And I do crystal healing where I have millions of crystals, let's just say. And I have a relationship with them all and we work together. I also do singing bowls and whatnot, chakra balancing. I also have a product that has gone over many people's head for the past 10 years because I don't think that they can fathom how body oil, bath salts, I have a spray, um, oil spray that goes in your purse and you use it throughout your day to regain balance and focus. It's actually an alchemic um, formula that I came up with a long time ago for myself because at the time I was still working on their jobs and I was having a hard time being literally discriminated against and put up against other employees that didn't even have the skills that I had to train them and whatnot. And I'm not being elevated in any positions of stature. And so, as an African American, in a corporate workplace, I have been under a lot of stress and anxiety, trying to keep myself in balance so that I have a job to go to the next day because I have a family that depends on me. So I can't spaz out and do all the wonderful things that I would like to do on my own time. Because when you're responsible for other people, you just can't do whatever it is you want to do. So I formulated a whole entire package that's called seven chakra balancing. Um, it's lotion, there's bath salts, and it's very creative. I have all the chakra colors, all the essential oils that um, correspond with each, and I found a way to blend them together in a body wash to where you go and take a shower and balance all seven of your chakras. Yes, the goddess, Tonya 23, is an experience. Yes, she is. A good one, a healing one at that. I do not deal with nonsense because I'm also powerful in protection. I do not ever worry about being or going anywhere alone. I certainly can harness and activate all five planets that I have in the Scorpio zodiac. If any of you know anything about Scorpios, you know that we can harness and conjure up the most powerful protection energy available from any human being on the planet without touching you, right? And so we are very protective over our protection. And so that's another skill that I have to share with others, that I can put spiritual protection over beings, children, babies, mothers, fathers, especially the family units. We must keep them together. I have so much that I have cultivated within myself just by dedicating years of knowing myself, right? It's been a wonderful journey, and I look forward to moving forward with it because I haven't even tapped into a lot. I've just really touched the surface of a lot of skills and experience. So, with that, I will leave you with this. Hold on just a moment. Looking for a copy of my book real quick so I can share a poem with a short little sonnet, you know. Is it gonna load? What's going on here? Oh my goodness. Manuscript. Oh, I'm holding a key down. You're holding down the control key. No, I'm not. Do you want to start word in safe mode? Yeah, why not? Well, if it doesn't load, of course, that means it's not meant for me to share my poems for free because this is a book for sale. So, see, I have been working with spirit in just that way by letting it be the guide and not fighting it because that actually was very wise. But as I always do, before I wrap up, let me share this quick message with you from spirit. I must pull a card right quick just to see what it says. I always have to leave the family on a spiritual note. And when I say by spiritual, and when I grab my little deck of white light oracle to pull a card because the unknown, the mystery realm, the realm of you're not controlling it or whatever, to allow things to happen. And so the goddess always wants to leave her children with a wonderful message. So on the four. Here we go. The message for the people comes from epsilon modulation. Metaphysical. Epsilon. Epsilon modulation. Let's get ready to break this down. Yes. And it is the number 28, which 2 plus 8 is 10. Okay. Universally, that is knowledge because it equals 1. Okay. Yeah. We are definitely going to give it spirit, very spiritual. It's in the building. We use numbers, numerology, everything to break down and decode the message, right? 2 plus 8 is 10 all day. 1 plus 0 would equal the 1. We talked about the universal mind, the consciousness. So pay attention to this message because it's going to be very special. Let's get to epsilon. Epsilon modulation. It's even on page 153. 1 plus 5, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. We are on the 9 frequency, family. That's no laughing matter. So here we go. Get ready. Epsilon modulation. Gather your energies and go within to regenerate. Now, before I go in, we're want to see how this message coincides with what your spiritual teacher just said to you. This is how you know if things are on point or not, if you're not dealing with a, a knucklehead or a wacko on here. Because a lot of us put our trust in the untrustworthy. They're not even worthy of your time. All they want is your money. They want something from you, you know? They don't forget to promote themselves. They don't forget to tell you what they have for sale. They don't forget to tell you how fast you must get it. And don't get me wrong, Some are very legit and the support is great, but a lot of you are supporting scammers. As simple as that. So let's get ready. Epsilon modulation takeoff. Gather your energies and go within to regenerate. Let your actions match your inner rhythms rather than trying to force yourself to keep pace with external cues. Commit to your own natural timing and pace as you ground and connect to your center. You will realize your spiritual power to be at cause in any situation or concern. You have such goodness and light within you. Let go of shaming or blaming that lower self. Embrace the spiritual journey within. Now, don't tell me the goddess didn't tell you that because, yeah, she knows. And she's not asleep. She's awake at all times. She don't play. You see those arrows in her backpack? She never misses her target. Reaching inspired spiritual heights requires commitment to developing powerful, deep roots, right? We talked about how I said the last 14 years, I really have just been friends with my spirit, developing deep, deep roots. A mature and creative offering takes longer to produce than that which is ephemeral and swiftly supplanted by whatever is next. To embrace the patience required for such building, got to surrender the need for immediate gratification. That's that ego, family. We must become so confident in the authenticity and value of our process that we are not in need of external evidence to bolster our courage. We can enjoy validation along the way, but must not turn away if it is absent for a time, especially if those around us appear to be moving faster. With such confidence and courage, we will be able to deepen and slow our breath and our restless nature and allow for inner workings of our soul. So our soul can manifest beautiful healing magic. Yes, we have just had a Tonya 23 experience. And on that note, family, yeah, let's see. Yeah,
If you're here, then you're ready for the real news. You're ready to face up to all that's happening in your world.
This is
We
our
not only
outro
report
for
the news,
tonight. I'm
but we
working
also
on
have
getting
time to
it
work with our
together.
viewers
As you
on
can
their
see,
opinions on how we can solve these
I've
issues
created
together
what I
and help
need.
to
I
bring
just gotta
heaven
get
on
it
earth as
so I can
promised in
chew it up
Ephesians
when
1
I
verse
need it
10.
because I got some great
As
news
God
for
needs
you.
the help of
I really
mankind,
want Tanya
everyone needs uplift
period,
each other. Peace,
fiery
love, and light.
cube.
You have tuned into the Global Scenario 360 TV.
Because you see
Please
this
remember to
process
subscribe,
real.
like, and share our channel.
Everything I do myself.
This channel
Every
is to
single thing.
raise
I
the
have no
consciousness
help.
of all beings
Now
upon
my
planet
little
Earth.
sound effects, I look it up.
To support independent media, we accept Cash App
I
donations.
know how to
Tonya 1116, thank you, and you are appreciated.
on the big
Keep
screen
supporting independent
with the
media so
remote
everyone stays
without a remote.
informed.
President of the
Disclaimer,
company,
all
he's
media,
presenting.
pictures,
I'm
videos,
working the big
articles,
screen
news
in
clips,
front of
etc. are
hundreds
used
and
for
hundreds of
educational
people to where
and
if you
informational
make
purposes
one
only.
mistake,
Subscribe.
everything that you do is out
Donate to
there to
Tonya
see.
1116.
So let me tell you, did
Contact
Tanya
Global Scenario
23 perform?
360TV at
Yes,
gmail.com.
I was
Phone
great. Very
410
praised. Very
575
praised.
4432.
I did my time and I got out of there. And I was great at what I did. Now I know that I can take those skills and I'm using it for myself. I have built everything I wanted to build, family, everything, and I'm perfecting it. Nothing, no weapon. Let's use it. They created it. No weapon, no weapon formed against my telepathy of terror matter should ever prosper, could ever prosper. It will never prosper. So on that note, family, we are so happy. Peace from the Tanya 23 experience.
Greetings. If you're here, then you're ready for the real news. You're ready to face up to all that's happening in your world. We not only report the news, but we also have time to work with our viewers on their opinion on how we can solve these issues together and help to bring heaven on earth as promised in Ephesians 1 verse 10. As God needs the help of
So
mankind,
proud of myself.
everyone needs uplift
No
each other.
idea.
Peace, love, and
No
light.
idea.
You have tuned into the Global Scenario 360 TV. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share our channel. This channel is to raise the consciousness of all beings upon planet Earth. ASE. To support independent media, we accept Cash App donations. Tonya 1116, thank you, and you are appreciated. Keep supporting independent media so everyone stays informed.
All of us.
Disclaimer, all media, pictures,
think you're free,
videos,
but I'm
articles, news clips,
universal
etc. are used for educational
are all
and informational
bonded.
purposes only. Subscribe.
And even then, they can't hold
Donate
us.
to Tonya 1116. Contact
So peace
Global Scenario
and
360
love
TV
and
at gmail.com.
all.
Phone 410 575
the day-
4432.
And let me go back because this number here, I use that also for my life coaching. And when I talk to others about whatever they want to talk about, because somebody's having some issues. And I remember years ago, I had a dream when we had the regular telephones. It wasn't even no cell phones then, but I had a dream. I had a hotline, yo. And it was a hotline saving lives just by me talking. Like I always pictured myself literally talking some man off of the ledge. So let's fast forward to here and now. That's my number. And I'm a life coach. Ask for Tanya 23. And we'll go from there. I said for 2024 that I wasn't going to charge anyone for my wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and refinement, the power and refinement also. I have those four things to offer for free, only for the year of 2024. But as we all know, here in this land, you gotta have the fake paper stuff to survive, right? So I'm not charging, but I do accept donations. And everybody can benefit from a donation because not only does it help me, it will help you out towards tax time, right? Cash App gives out their statements, and so you can use that to get your donation money back at the end of the year. I'm also a tax preparing expert. Business taxes and personal taxes. I have many, many, many reviews. I used to do my coworkers' taxes every year. The same people would come to me year after year. My children, I actually taught them what they know about doing their own. Okay? Self sufficient. We create gods and goddesses over here for the world. Do you understand? God, goddesses, okay? Not derelicts. That's one thing. My creations are wonderful from beginning, from the beginning. And yeah, I got enough love for other children and out there. I look at all of you as children, every last one of you. When you're a goddess, that's what it looks like from our eyes. No man, I don't want you. Absolutely not. I'm actually practicing staying away. I have a husband too. I keep him satisfied. That's all I have to worry about. Do I want any man out there? No freaking way. I tell my husband all the time, you the last Mohican. However this turns out, I'm not doing it again. I will be dedicating my life to like strictly spirituality on some strict stuff. Like God got him another Mary out here, just a waiting. But anyway, the goddess is good all the time. And all the time, the goddess is good to me. I'm in balance because God is good all the time. And all the time, my God is good. Yes. I hope you feel the same way about yours. But on that note, peace and love, everyone.